Ideas to name it whatever it is you want to name it. Nilotiqa, Nilotiqa. You name it whatever you want to name it, as long as you get into it. Surprised, and I'm still obsessed about the brand. And I always think, should I use other products? Is it healthy to just be obsessed with my own brand? But it does the work. It does really enjoy my hair. I do.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of I Am My Hair. We're all about natural hair conversations with women and men from across the world as we all embrace this journey that is our natural hair. I'm so excited about our guest today, and I'll explain why in a few minutes. Her name is Thokozile Mangwiro. She is the founder and the CEO of Nilotiqa. It is a South African natural hair care brand. Thokozile, thank you so much and lovely to have you with us. You have dreadlocks. I'm assuming those are dreadlocks, right?
There's a long story to it, but these are braids now.
Okay, great. But I'm assuming you're a natural, or I'm hoping that you are. How did your journey start?
So I think I'm going to give away my age at this point, but my journey started right after high school. I started off with dreadlocks. I'd been building up to that natural hair process, and I wanted dreadlocks and, crazy about all of that. And so just as soon as I stopped protective styling and started dreadlocks, I realized just how dry natural hair is. And this is natural hair that you try and maintain on a daily basis. So there's plaited hair that you hardly ever touch, and then you've got dreadlocks that you possibly touch every day. And this stuff was so dry, like straw dry, And I just thought, is this possible that my hair is going to be dry the entire time? And it took, so I always used to do my own hair, by the way. And it took 15 years of me just saying, nope, the products that are on the shelves don't make sense. They're the same ones. They don't progress. Nobody formulates differently. Also, all you have on the shelves are Caucasian hair care products. So you're taking shampoos that are produced for or formulated for Caucasian hair and putting it in your own hair. And by then it didn't quite click, but it was just like, this, whatever the product is, doesn't work for my type of hair. And so I started stalking the shelves in retail and looking at what is actually on the shelves. And all there was were relaxers for our type of hair. You had sprays that were supposed to moisturize, but they're just dry. You had hair food that you'd put in your hair and stuff. So it's also about relaxing your hair and then maintaining it. And you've literally broken your hair. You've chemically broken your hair, and you're maintaining it with whatever the product is there. And so there was nothing on the shelves for us. And around 2014, I started meeting up with formulators, researching natural ingredients. So now I started thinking, maybe coconut oil is going to help me. Maybe shea butter is going to help me. And one time I was buying shea butter, and one of the posters, as I was seated there waiting for my order, said, do you want to create your own product? And I thought, yeah, because there are no products for us, And that's kind of how the natural hair journey took me into the product journey.
And you mentioned something quite interesting, because I went on this journey in 2016. And I don't think you don't ever become a natural. I think we're all born naturals. Absolutely. And then we decide to use chemical straighteners. And then we decide we're not doing this anymore. Now we're going back. And that for me was 2016. And I recall that journey so well. There were no local products on the shelf. Well, I can't recall any. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I don't recall any. There were products, but there were no local products.
Right.
And then you decided to start this hair care brand. I want you to tell us a little bit about this exotic name, Nilotiqa. Where does it come from?
So I mean, the idea is to name it whatever it is you want to name it. Nilotiqa, Nilotiqa. You name it whatever you want to name it, as long as you get into your hair. So I always tell people, like, I really don't care. Put in your hair. So it's named after the Nilotiqa shea butter, which is softer. It's a lighter shea butter. It penetrates the skin and hair beautifully. And that's literally the motivation behind then the brand, which focuses on shea butter and moisturizing the hair.
I love how you said you don't care whether it's Nilotiqa, whatever it's called, just get the product in your hair. That is all that matters. Thokozile, when we interviewed Janine, she spoke about, and I wanted her to mention the name of the local products, because I made a confession live and I said, I am not using local products. I'm embarrassed about it, but I think it's also part of the learnings and the journey, because like I said then, in 2016, I don't recall there being any local ones. Maybe there were, but I missed it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Then you gravitate to what's there, because you're on this journey. The products that I'm used to, I'm no more on relaxed hair. My hair's like this, and there's nothing. I'm going to use what is there. Yes. And then comes Nilotiqa, and she said live, Nilotiqa is the best local hair care brand.
If I want to say, what is the brand that I feel outperforms international brands? I'm going to say Nilotiqa. Nilotiqa is one of the best formulated brands I've tried.
Oh, wow. As I said, I do love Janine, so wow. I didn't think she thought that. And that's amazing. But it's all around formulating product for hair that we understand. I'm a person who formulated the product from my type of hair. Janine said that because the focus of Nilotiqa is that, does it work for my hair? Do I put in my hair? And if I say it's moisturizing, is it really moisturizing? Or is it like every other product you put in and then 3 hours later your hair's dry? Which is, I think, what everybody struggles with the most. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to hear that she loves the brand, but yeah, it's all around functionality and that your product that you offer actually works.
And how important was it for you that it speaks to the climate that is South Africa? Because things are quite different here and in the rest of the continent and probably even the rest of the world.
I think a combination of being the guinea pig, firstly, for the product. So if it worked in my hair, as I said, my dreadlocks used to go all the way, to my thighs. And if that product worked for that type of hair or that hair that is so huge, surely it should work for most people. But the idea is that I tested it on my hair. So it led to a product that actually works for this climate, for this type of hair. But it's not just the product formulation and then it's on the shelf. It took 2 years to just study the natural hair, how the journey works, what products work best with it, because we had to go through a whole testing process. So it took 2 years just to launch the brand in the first place and to understand that it has product that actually works. So it's the most important thing to offer a customer something that works, but the idea is that it works for the climate because it's tested on myself, some friends, and I guess that's the luck of it, of the brand, I guess, yeah.
You mentioned the brand a lot and the product, and I want to speak a little bit about the brand, the product. Tell us a little bit about the range, the product range, and also who's it suited for in terms of natural.
Sure. We focused on a shampoo, a conditioner. This is the first range. A shampoo, a conditioner, a detangling cream, because you will hear every natural talk about detangling and how difficult detangling is and how long it takes. And then we focused on a butter and an oil. And that was the core range of Nilotiqa, the first 5 that we put out there. And the reaction from the customers, unbelievable, because you just had this beautiful product. It also smelled good. I brought some products here. They also smelled good. I get surprised and I'm still obsessed about the brand. And I always think, should I use other products? Is it healthy to just be obsessed with my own brand? But it does the work. It does the job. So,
It is healthy to be obsessed with your own brand. You spoke about the 3 ranges that you have within Nilotiqa, so I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot. I know you spoke about dry, and my hair does tend to be dry, but I'm low porosity. So of your 3 ranges, which one would be better or best suited for my hair type, for example?
I would say the Shea and Cocoa collection. And you would definitely start with your shampoo and this conditioner that I spoke about. Because you're trying to keep moisture into your hair. You're not trying to lose the moisture. And so these types of products help you retain the moisture. So you're almost training your hair to retain moisture. And so if you keep a constant weekly natural hair wash day routine, you're training your hair to kind of retain the moisture. So you might find that your hair's gone through whatever the journey is, whether you are doing it healthy or not. You need to get to a routine where you're not trying to get the health of your hair back, and you'll definitely see it with this conditioner. Okay, then you can experiment with every other brand. I'm so sad I don't have the butter here. That is an obsession. It's a cult obsession for everyone. The butter holds in your moisture and the oil seals in the moisture. And that's where you feel that you can retain moisture for several days and not a couple of hours. And most products, you might put in the product, you might try and lock it with the lock method, and then a day later your moisture is gone. So it's around putting in that butter, sealing in the moisture, and then just covering your hair and making sure you don't lose the moisture.
I was just speaking for myself, but I sometimes find all these terminology quite confusing. Deep nourishing, deep moisturizing, replenishing, infused with this and this. What should we essentially be looking for when we're looking for a product?
So ingredients are very important. You know, everybody always talks about the first ingredient being aqua. It's because of how it's formulated. So your water component must be the biggest component, must be the first component. And then beyond that, just look to what's the core ingredients that you have. So we've got a shea butter and the coconut oil. And actually coconut oil has got such a bad rap, because people used to use it raw and it would dry out your hair. But if it's formulated in a product like this, right in the beginning when we launched, we'd get people saying, I'm not using your product because it's got coconut oil and I'm allergic to coconut oil. And then they'd say, oh, my husband used the product and now I'm using it again. And actually it works, you know, so it's a lot of trial and tribulation.
Some of the lessons in your journey, not only as a researcher towards building this product, but also in your journey that you've learned over the years, especially with your hair in particular?
My journey is quite interesting, is that I've kind of felt three different types of hair. By the way, you can have different textures on your hair as well. So you might find someone saying at the back it's dry and the front is, I've felt that with my hair, my back or my sides are different to the top. So it's kind of just trialing it out, and you do get, I mean, if you're patient with your hair, it's fragile, you do get to a point where you understand, okay, if I put this in, this works, if I do this, this works, and it becomes a much lighter process and you tend to enjoy your hair. I really enjoy my hair, I do.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What is the one thing in your view that every natural should be doing on their journey?
I'm big on routine. I'm big on that routine because it really does create such beautiful results. You might underestimate what a week or two might give you. It might be like, my hair's not doing anything, nothing's happening. But if you keep to a routine, a weekly routine, or every 2 weeks routine, and you feel like you don't allow your hair to get dry, don't allow your hair enough space in between to get dry, the results at the end of the day and how thick and how gorgeous your hair ends up looking is just absolutely worth it to kind of maintain that routine. And there is an understanding that people could get tired of their hair, and that's why you have product that kind of assists you. You don't have to have a 3-hour, 4-hour wash day. I wash my hair in like an hour, you know, but if I maintain my routine, I've trained my hair to retain moisture. The next time I'm doing it, it's not so dry and flaking everywhere. But I'm big on routine, and I always advocate for routine as a brand.
Beauty. So it's all about routine. So on I Am My Hair, we ask all the guests here the one thing that they love the most about their hair, and I'm going to do the same with you. So what is that one thing that you love the most?
I think versatility. As I said, I enjoy my natural hair. I know a lot of people complain about the natural hair. I love how versatile it is. I love that I can have it just out today and tomorrow I'm curling it into little cute pieces. And I love at the top, I can do twists and walk around with twists, and I can pop it out and it's just big hair all of a sudden. You can do so much with hair. And I enjoy just the texture and the love, the feeling of my hair. But I guess, yeah, it's the Nilotiqa effect.
And I'm really excited to try it out. I'm not using local, but I committed that I'm going to be
enjoy.
It's quite important, and you've told me shea and coconut, so we're definitely going to look out for it. Thank you so much to Thokozile Mangwiro. She is the founder and the CEO of Nilotiqa. She says she doesn't care whether you call it Nilotiqa, Nilotiqa, whatever you call it. She just wants you to have the product in your hair. That's the most important thing for her. We're all about natural hair conversations, and this has been yet another episode of I Am My Hair. We're so excited to bring you the next one next week, so stay tuned.